So basically, we need to understand three key areas here. One is locators, and second one is action methods. So how to perform the actions on the web element, and third one is assertions. So, and fourth one more is there, and how we will design the test cases. So what keywords you need to use, and designing the test cases, we will use some hooks also there. So Playwright hooks are there. So those hooks also we need to use. Test.describe, test, test.before all, test.after all, test.before each, test.after each. So these are called hooks. So before your test, you want to execute some code, you can put in the test.before each or test.before all. So before all means for all the test cases, it will execute only once. That we'll discuss all those structure. So these are the main things to start our framework. So without knowing this, if you start also, it doesn't work out. So first, let's go and select your language here, and then go to documentation. Go to documentation. So this installation part will come back later. So first go here, the actions. So there will be actions. So this is the actions and assertions. See how so many, just go to actions. So I think before actions, I have to go for the locators. That's the first thing, because you will use locators here again, right? So these are all the locators. I want to show the locators first. Yeah, locators. Let me open in a new tab. So what are these locators? So locators are used to locate the web element in the page. So in Selenium, we have ID, name, class name, XPath, CSS selector, link text, partial link text, tag name. So these are the locators are there to identify your web element in the web page. In Playwright, you can use CSS and XPath. Apart from that, they are providing some built-in locators. Playwright has a built-in locators. Those locators you can use. So that is the main objective of these locators. So why you will use locators? Locators are used to identify your web element in the web page. So Playwright is auto waiting and retriability is there while using these built-in locators. So that's the main concept of these locators. If you see these built-in locators, so get by role. So what this get by role will do to locate by explicit and implicit accessibility attributes like button, link, heading. So these are the roles. That role based you can identify an element. So you want to identify an element based on the button. So you can just call this get by role, page.getByRole. Parenthesis inside you give. So name is a button and button value you can give. So the role is button, and then button name is whatever is login or register, whatever the button name, you can give button. So that's a get by role. Even heading. So the role is a heading and the name is, what is the heading name? So link is the role and you can give link name. So like that, you will identify any element based on the role. That's what this get by role. So let me show you one of them. So get by role, this is the button, right? So you can write like this. Await page.getByRole. So this is the role name. So in the single quotes, you have to put in the curly bracket, you have to write a name of this button, that is sign in. Okay, then you will perform the action. Action will come to later. first understand this locator. So same way, if it is a link, you put a link here and name is, so maybe forget password link or login link or anything. So this like this, if you have a button tag, you can write the get by role and link is there. So a tag is there, you can put a link and you can give in the curly bracket inside the link name. Okay, so that's a get by role purpose. Clear? Get by role?
So, Ramesh, you said it is provided by Playwright, all
Yes.
these locators.
Yes, it is provided.
Apart from this, what method we use? How do we identify an element?
So this is the method name. Get by role is the method. So you see, parenthesis is there, right?
Okay, so
Parenthesis you're using,
to
right? That's a get
find
by
out
role is
that
the method.
button, okay, you have to use get by role, not something else.
No,
There's no other
get
way.
by role is the method. And that method inside you are passing the parameters.
Parameter.
So what parameters? If it is a button, button. If it is a link, link. If it is a heading, heading. Like that you will pass. And then you give the name value. Name means it's a value you are passing. What is the button name? So what is the link name? What is the heading name? So you are passing. So that's two parameters you have to pass. One is the name, another one is the role. Okay, so that's why comma, right? You can see here comma. So that's
If
the
there
get
is
by role.
no
Hmm?
if there is no name in the button sign in, how does it
No,
identify?
without a name, there is no button at all.
You cannot. Okay.
You cannot see. That doesn't exist at all. Without name, so link name and button name, heading name, without this, that's not a best practice if the developer making a mistake there.
Hmm.
If you
Okay.
develop
Get
like.
it. Mhm.
So if there is no, if it is not no creating in the HTML button name, it won't show on the front end. It won't show on the front end, right?
Okay, so that's a mandatory. Okay.
Yeah.
So Ramesh, a question here. You said we need to import the page to get all these attributes of the page. So initially
The
on
page
the
is
page,
inbuilt fixer of Playwright.
so no need of
No, you don't need to do
importing.
anything. Automatically you will get that.
Okay, no need of
The
importing
Playwright, yeah.
inbuilt
So
fixtures.
yeah, Playwright is giving that by default.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
that's
playwright is giving that statement or
no, just
the
page,
name or
page,
button, that one.
page fixer. You are writing
Okay,
page here, right?
that page it is giving.
The page is the default fixer in the Playwright. Page, browser, browser context. These are all given by Playwright, inbuilt. So
So
I
if
told
there are
you,
multiple websites, Ramesh,
sorry.
how does it, if there are multiple web pages,
Mhm.
how does it identifies which
Every
page,
page,
which
right? Every
button?
page is one separate page.
Oh, it has every, okay, it
Ah,
distinguishes
so it
between.
represents you are creating a page classes, right? You are representing a page class, right?
Okay.
So every page you are creating one page class. Am I right or not?
Yeah, that's what I, every page we have to create a
One
page.
page class, and when you so this is represent the current page. So the page means here current page.
Okay.
Wherever you are, it will represent that current page. Okay.
Yeah.
So the current page, so it will perform all the actions. Okay. So that is the first locator. Now our second locator. Get by role, they're giving so many, but yeah. See even heading. Can you see here? Heading. So heading name. So many examples they provided. Okay. So you can see buttons, headings, links. So role locators include button, checkboxes, headings, links, lists, tables, many more. Anything you can give as a role. That is the one. Next, get by label. So that is the one next one, right? Get by label. If you see here, okay, get by label. So get by text also there. We'll go to get by text. So get by text means you want to locate an element by text content. A text content means so pure text. So you want to identify based on the text content. So you can use get by text. So you can see here. So this is the welcome John. Based on this text, I want to identify. So then you can call page.getByText. So welcome John. See, directly you can give. So how simple it is, you see that. So any text you can identify. So with this get by text method you can use. So that is the how. Even you can write a regular expressions also. This, for example, this welcome is static, but this one is changing, and you can write a this regular expression e to z, a to small a to z plus dollar means. So how many are there? It will take automatically, and I means so case sensitive. So even whatever it will take automatic. So that is the so this regular expression also you can write. If you don't want to hard code this value, if it is dynamically changing, so you're going to use. So and also can you see here, if you want to match exactly, so you can put in the curly bracket exact colon true. So it will check exactly spaces and cases, everything. So that is the other one. This will normally checks this text is there or not, but if you want to check exactly, you can use exact colon true. So that's another option. So it is going to provide. Okay.
Anna, welcome John. That one is inside the text content or text name.
It is the text. This is the text. So in the span tag, you have this, right? This text. So that text you are giving here.
Means value.
Value.
You are passing in the text.
This is the value, right? This is the value it is appearing on the UI.
Okay, okay.
That exact text you are giving. For example, this you DOM structure. You can give that DOM structure here. That is the text visible on the UI. So whatever the text you want to verify, that text you can identify by getByText method. Okay. Clear. Second locator.
So, Ramesh, in the login page, the username, is it as text or a label?
So you can identify with the label also, that one, or you can identify with the text also.
Text also, okay.
So
Anything
they have
static?
in the HTML, they will give a label tag, right?
Okay.
So they will create as a label tag. So let me show you. I think in SAS demo we have label tag. They have given placeholder, not sure, but let's see what they have given here.
That's a text box, right?
So text box, but this one is a placeholder. On that, I think it is placeholder they have given, not label, and they haven't used label. Okay, so we'll go to rediff.com. There will be a labels. See, this is the label. You definitely are going to show label here. So label tag. If label tag is there, there is another locator, get by label. Okay. So in the registration and forms, you can see those so labels. definitely you have a label tag. See, this is the label tag. Then you can use getByLabel method.
Okay.
So that is what we can see here, getByLabel, another method. Even we have, so getByLabel here. See, getByLabel directly you're giving, see, label tag. If you have a label tag, you can give, so like this, getByLabel, and fill that value. Okay. So if you want to identify any element with the label tag, you can use getByLabel method. If you want to identify pure text, getByText method. If you want to identify any element by role, you can use getByRole. So there is one more, getByPlaceholder. So getByPlaceholder. Placeholder is the attribute. So you can see here, this is the placeholder here. Can you see here placeholder? 1 minute. So placeholder means you will have, see, this is the placeholder attribute. So this placeholder attribute, basically you want to identify an element. They provided a method, getByPlaceholder method. So that is the another way to identify your element, getByPlaceholder. So I page.getByPlaceholder, and you can give this placeholder value. So this entire value you can pass it. So that is the getByPlaceholder. GetByText we have seen. Locate by alt text. So alt text is, so there is an alt attribute in the image. This alt attribute is available only for images, not for any other elements. Like href is only for links, right? Href attribute. And similar way, alt attribute you will use only for images. So such alt based images, if you want to identify, so you can use getByAltText. See, everything based on the attributes they are providing, so that our life is easy to identify. You don't need to write any XPath and CSS, so that you can avoid that. So that's the one good advantage in the Playwright. So getByAltText. So then just give this alt attribute value. So that is the one thing, but let me show you here. This swag lab is, there is a image or not. No, it's not image. I think here, this might be a logo. It's an image. Yeah, you can see here image, but alt. You see they have given rediff.com logo alt. You can identify that based on this alt attribute. So this element. So that is the another one, getByAltText. And another one, getByTitle. So what is this title? So getByTitle attribute, title attribute. So you can identify an element, so matching title attribute. So title tag is there, title attribute is there. Don't confuse. Title tag is that in the header tag, the page title will be represented, but title attribute will be used to show the tooltip. Title attribute is there, that is always used for the tooltip. So I'm not sure you'll get here or not, but let me go back. I think we'll get here tooltip. So I think here I will get, yeah, this is the tooltip, right? So if you see this, so you'll get a tooltip here. Let's close this. When you mouse over, you will get a tooltip here. They change it. Rediff also change a lot of things. Search. Okay, we're not getting tooltip. These are menus. Menus. These are all menus. Before we used to get here tooltips. Okay, so that Title is used for the tooltip only. That kind of tooltip or title attribute anywhere if you find. So you can use getByTitle method. So basically, you observe that based on the attributes also they provided the locators. So, and you can use that getByTitle, and you can, so these are all assertions to have a text, this 25 issues. So these assertions I will explain this later. But yeah, so this is the getByTitle, title attribute based, you can identify an element. So now we have getByTestId. So this is the attribute many people can give for any elements. So this is not going to change. So even something UI changes, this attribute to change. So most of the big companies will prefer to give this attribute. So that their automation test cases won't fail unnecessarily. Change, even if they change UI also, they won't change this attribute value. And in the test cases, if you use this attribute value, and your test cases will go fine, and it's not going to fail. So that is the one, and we implemented same. If the developer forgets, and we know where to add, if you're not clear, you can go and talk to developer, and they will help you to add this attribute to any element, whichever element you want this attribute. So that, and this value doesn't change, and you can use getByTestId and directions. So getByTestId. So data-testid is the attribute. If you find any element, you can identify that element by getByTestId. So that is the one thing. How to identify.
Ramesh, one thing. So directions is the name given for that button
No, not
by
for
the
button.
program.
Not for button. This attribute value. So this is the tag name, okay? And the tag inside you have attributes. So data-testid is the attribute and attribute value. So the button name is
data-testid will be unique to that page.
Not for page, only for that element.
For that element, it will be unique, and no other element will have data-testid.
You can give uniquely. So this is all defined by developers or you. So to recognize,
it's like a name of the variable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this, you are identifying this element, this button element, it in array, right? This button element using this. Like ID it will be unique definitely. So data-tested means this is for testing purpose they are creating. Automation testing purpose. Okay?
Okay.
Just for automation testing purpose they are creating. So are you all clear on this till now?
Yeah, Ramesh.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so let's move on to the next one. Now this is the vast. So locate your element by CSS or XPath. So I'm not sure how many of you are aware of CSS and XPath. So if you want to get more details about CSS, in our blog, we have one article I have kept it here. So locate an element by CSS and XPath also I have given all the formulas with examples. or you can listen one of our so these locators. But if you want me to teach, that will again take some time. So that is, I think Srinivas, you are not aware of that. That's what we have to see. See, can you see here web element theory and HTML concepts? Okay, so this is the article. So under blog archive 2020 February. So there's web element theory and HTML concepts. So here I have given HTML concepts and also the what tag will be there for each element. So everything clearly explained. At the same time, I have given the locators also here, the Selenium locators, but this CSS is common for everybody. CSS for all the tools and XPath is common for all the tools. CSS and XPath is common for all the tools. So let me show you. So here CSS started. So you can identify an element by, so if there is ID attribute for that element. So how to write in the CSS? Tag name hash ID value. Suppose this one. So my element has ID. For example, can go here. So maybe generally I'm looking for the ID attribute. So this might have ID attribute. So this one might have ID attribute. Or you can use the tools. I'll give you simply some tools. You follow those tools. They will give you tools, the CSS and XPath directly to you. So if you don't want to practice now. So can you see there is ID? So ID is there. Then how can you write this CSS? Control F. So the tag name here is an input tag. So I told you, right? CSS formula input hash. That's what I told you. Tag name hash the ID value. So ID value is login one. If the element has ID attribute, how can you write in the CSS tag name hash ID value? So now I have to put CSS equal to. Okay, this is not identifying. Why it's not identifying? Did I make any mistake? By default, it should identify that. Yeah. So you don't need to prefix a CSS, but this is the one. Can you see it is highlighting 1 of 1? So and that element is highlighting. See, it is highlighting. So that is the how to write CSS formula, and all the formulas I have given here. If ID is the ID attribute is there for that element, this is how you need to write a CSS selector, CSS. And if there is a class attribute, you can see there is a class attribute also for this. So first understand the formula. What is the formula I told? Tag name dot class value. Okay, remember this formula. This is for class attribute. And so go and apply this. This is the class attribute. See, I can identify with the class attribute also. What is the formula? Tag name dot class attribute value. See, now it is identifying class attribute. Based on the class attribute.
Using various ways to identify an element.
Yes,
using
various
CSS.
ways in the CSS. CSS has a lot of formats. You can use any one format. For example, there is no ID. If the only class is there, then you can use this formula.
Okay.
Various ways to identify element. So that a lot of formulas are there. I have provided here. And there is one more concept in this. There is a tricky part. For example, so your class value has some spaces. See, now this is a class value and it is button underscore primary hyphen large, but large after there is a space here. If there is a space in the class attribute value, if you give exactly the same, it won't identify that element. Even though you write a tag name dot class value, it won't identify. Then how to make it to identify? Wherever spaces are there, that space place you replace with a dot. Then your element will be identified. Okay, so that's another thing you have to take care of. If class has a single value without any spaces like this, now this value doesn't have any spaces, right? Email hyphen input, it is treated as a one value. But if there is a spaces, you have to take care of that. So you have to give wherever space is there in the class and replace that space and give the dot, then it will recognize. So that is the another thing we have to understand that. So clear?
Okay, yeah, got it. Yeah.
That. So here, let me see, I think this login button might have a space. Yeah, so we're lucky, you got it. See, there is a space there, right? Button after a space is there. See, if I write, what is this button tag name? Input tag. If I write that, so how to get this identification page? So control F you press, then you can get that. The box you will get, edit box, then write input dot. So there is a space here, button space BTN. And if I identify like this, it won't recognize. See, it is not recognizing 0 of 0. But I'll replace this space with a dot. Now see, it is recognizing. Can you see 1 of 1? And this button is highlighted. So that's the another technique you have to understand that. Clear?
Yeah.
The spaces like that you have, for example, I want, okay, you have given for ID and class. What about other attributes? So can't I use another attributes? Yes, you can use any attribute you can use. Let me show you how to identify with any attribute in the CSS. So this is the simple formula. You can write tag name, square bracket, attribute name equal to, in single quotes, you write attribute value, then close the square bracket. If you want to give more than one attribute to identify same element, you can write this is the one. If you want to use multiple attributes to identify the same element, you can write like this: tag name, square bracket, attribute name equal to value, attribute 2 equal to value, like this. Multiple attributes you can give for this tag. So that means this tag has this attribute 1 and this attribute 2 both. So like this. See, input tag has a name attribute and type attribute. So these two attributes for this tag inside only. So not for some other element attribute you should give here. If you want to identify a particular element, that element related tags only, you have to give both attributes. I hope this is clear for you. And if you want to identify any element, that's the one option which will help us. And okay, so till now you have given any attribute you can identify with this formulas. Single attribute and double attribute also I have given. Now, so heading does, so it will work. You can just give header tag, it will identify, but this is the crucial. So the attribute values are dynamically changing. Then how can you identify them? Or you want to give your attribute value is very big. So you don't want to give all that and you want to give only partial. Then here is the one. You have to use contains, that is star. Star you have to use. So to give a partial attribute value,